gin or drink with your wife. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Drink it for peace or drink it to fight. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Go to bed at 8 or party all night. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Athens Light, Athens Light. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light. Enjoy Athens Light at Pizza on the Farm every Friday and Saturday. Stony Acres Brewing, Athens, Wisconsin. Drink an appropriate amount of Athens Light.
You know, if there's something I think I fell short on, it's maybe I could have had a thicker sound with maybe more keyboard work, more pads, more strings and stuff like that. You know, but those things they don't take away from like how much fun it was for Jed and I to sit down and like do those takes and get that recorded and piece it all together and have it come out sounding like it does, like it's a finished product.
Right on. Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think you should be proud. It's a great sounding record, and the way that came together for you, you know, trying to release a record in a pandemic, how did that go? You know, at least it was springtime, right? Summer was pretty okay, right? Outdoor gigs and whatnot, you know.
Yeah, I think I think somehow there was definitely a period where I just didn't have the gigs, couldn't be doing the gigs, so I guess it got a little easier for me to focus on doing the recording, and I don't know, it was nice to be able to like throw myself all the way into the recording, you know. And then by the time the album came out, by the time summertime came around, the gigs were recovering, and then I had, you know, opportunity to share all that material with people.
Right on, yeah, and you know, you've been developing quite the audience, you know, quite the following, and so I'm sure that there were a lot of people that were just like, I finally got my hands on the elephant in the room, you know, like it's out here, it's Anthony, it's groovy, and it's pretty cool.
It's been a long time coming, I guess, to record it, to, you know, finally commit to doing the original music and recording it, you know.
Yeah, and we did talk about it. I think your plan was, but yeah, you did go and see Mark Wayne down at Clear Blue Studios just outside of Tomahawk, so right here in the Northwoods. And all these players, local, regional players, you know, heavy hitters.
Oh yeah, Charlie Strong.
Yeah,
you know,
Jed Nyland. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jed and I actually, since we did the recording session, that was really like the foundation of us to start our project together. Like he's got like a more of a creative voice and a production role as well on this next album, and on the tunes we're doing now. So it was really like the where the collaboration really began in earnest. And so yeah, to be able to have that alongside players like Charlie Strong, and in Mark Wayne's prepared studio, he's got the right microphones, he's got the right amplifiers. He takes his time to get a good sound. It was really a great experience to have that much like seriousness put into it,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's got a great setting there for making music. He's a super cool guy,
Yeah, it's comfy too. He'll have the coffee ready. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I've never liked coffee so much in my life since I started recording.
Well, we could, we're going to talk all night, but did you want to start with a tune from that, or did you want to get into something new?
Yeah.
What do you want to do music wise for us tonight?
I guess I could start with sort of like the marquee tune from Elephant in the Room. It's called Elephant in the Room, and this is a song that I wrote. Really, it was one of the last songs that I wrote for the album. But it was sort of that last step of getting the concept all together, and then some of the other songs changed a little bit because of how that song was written. So this is the one that like ties it all together, and it's about like sort of self-acceptance and learning how to like be enough for yourself. Because I've definitely had lots of experience, being a gay boy. I've definitely had a lot of experience with relationships in maybe like unconventional styles of relationships. So this song was about sort of finding my center and learning how to love myself. I've had enough of this drug on love making me sick, like poison in my blood. Honestly, can anybody tell me why being alone makes me wanna scream? 'Cause that's the $1,000,000 question. Elephant in the room. I know the answers, I just don't want to. 'Cause I won't deny I would rather die than go on living my life under a lie. Just wanna be authentically 100% who I'm meant to be. Yeah. 'Cause that's the $1,000,000 question. Elephants in the room. Sometimes you suffer when you tell the truth, but I want you to tell me the truth.
Nice. Elephant in the room. Very cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Oh man. Woo.
All
I'm
right.
warmed up now.
Well, yeah, just like if we're in the studio over at the station using the front end of this just to make sure things are getting dialed in okay, and so hopefully things are sounding good out there in live stream land. And I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Yeah, live session here in the living room, Midwest Music Hour with Anthony Lux, the Piano Duke. All right. So you are actually just in the process of creating another record. You're out of the studio. You got the record released. We're in a new year, and you got this new album that you're putting together. Tell me about that.
Well, I just started. We had the first session on Tuesday. It's we've got all the songs written. We're doing the foundation tracks right now. And it's like the album is going to be called The Shape of It. We believe, we think, we hope. And it's like I said, we're just at the very beginning of that, and we're gonna hopefully have it done and ready to release for sure by the fall. But we're gonna hope for the summertime again. It'd be really good to 1-2 punch combo with this album, because you're right. I think we released the last one in May, digitally. So. It would be it seems outrageous to me that like I've got another album in the works already, because the other one was such a big experience. But yeah, it just feels like the songs are there, and the desire is there, and the want to build on what we've done already is there. So.
Oh, right on. So you're going to go back see Mark Wayne again, right down there, and okay, so awesome. Same studio, a couple of same players, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. Luckily, Charlie Strong has agreed to play the bass again for this, which is, he's killer. He really is killer. He's indispensable. So, but yeah, again, it'll be at Mark's studio, and again, it'll be getting mastered by Mark and everything. So we're really looking forward to creating like an evolution on the sound we put down on the first one. So same people, obviously, same constituent parts. Everyone just sort of reaching further into their bag of tricks.
Sure, yeah. So that's what types do you want to disclose anything? Like what types of things are you utilizing in order to?
Well, I've got a new keyboard. It's a stage piano. It's very fancy. Has a lot of options that can be yes.
It looks quite nice. This is different from the quilted pleather.
Yeah. Well, and also the brain and the guts, the electronics are very different as well, too. There's a lot more options and flexibility with the electronic components, the tones, and how I can craft them. I've got compressors, and I've got chorus effects, and all kinds of other parameters for me to change about the sound coming out of the keyboard. So this next album is going to have a more electric sound. More electronic keyboards are going to be on the album. And so, like, it's the palette of it is more colorful.
All right, so really the best question is like which period of Ray Charles is it?
Ooh. Yeah, because I want to say the last album was a little early Ray Charles, more like Unchained My Heart era Ray Charles, and this I think I think we're gonna reach for like late '60s, early '70s Ray Charles. We might even spill into some Leon Russell.
All right, sort of a. Yeah.
It's going to be funkier, I think, than the last one. Funkier.
The Electric Glide. Right on. Well, you want to share one of those songs with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
What can you tell us about it? What's the name of this one?
So this song is, let's see. I think I'm going to do...
Or which one do you want to do first?
I think I'm going to... I know the album is called The Shape of It, but I'm going to do a song here called Breakage. I'm not saying we won't do The Shape of It. I'm just going to do Breakage first right now. And this should illustrate what I mean about the different piano voices. This is actually an RD-1000, a Roland. Very popular in the 80s, so it's a sound Elton John used a lot, so that's why I want it on this album. A pirate's life for me. That's my destiny. The siren call is blinding because sad songs make me smile. I can't deny they make me smile. Oh, all the scars and the black eyes that I collected out in the wreckage, out in the wreckage, among the breakage. Yeah, ain't no stopping it now. The fire's raining down. You can tell there's no way out. When the waves, they are cresting, and under the surface, the temperature's rising. After all the storm has ended, you found me out in the wreckage, out in the wreckage, among the breakage, among the breakage. Whoa, 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 oh, somewhere out there, out in the wreckage, you'll find treasure in all the breakage. Somewhere out there, out in the wreckage, you'll find your treasure in all the breakage. Woo! Yeah! Oh, oh,
Very cool.
Thank you.
I need to remind myself to turn down your mic gain when you go into the songs. Because that front end, I'm like, oh gosh, there it is.
Yeah,
okay.
there's some heat there. Yeah,
There's
sorry.
about 12 or 15 decibels difference between your speaking voice and your singing voice. And I should be sharper than that.
I'm a bit of a belter, yes, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I
All good.
when I learned how to play and stuff, just like you, I had a big, nice Chicago upright in my basement, and it had a nice big, wooden front. And I just it was really nice to be able to almost sing as loud as possible and bounce it off the wood, and hear that with the piano, So I have this this propensity to lean into the microphone and stuff like that. When I have a microphone, I really take advantage of the fact that it is a big difference speaking and singing.
Poor Josephine.
Yeah, I know. I'm noticing that she's hearing me just fine, whether I'm looking at her or I can be looking pretty far off, and she's still getting a good signal.
Yeah. No, it's nice. Like I said, hopefully I'll just remember to re-engage that for the next time around there. So, all right. So releasing the record during you having a good summer. What okay? So what are you looking at aside from getting this album out? Are you looking kind of like what kind of gigs are opening up coming this summer?
Well, I mean, I definitely I've
or you got sorry What does the calendar look like? Yeah, coming out forward.
Well, I definitely I noticed one of the people that the viewers will have seen is Stony Acres, and that's I've got a handful of dates with them this summer, of course.
Eats pizza on the farm.
It's a fantastic place to play, and Tony is such a supportive venue owner. It's like amazing to go out there and work with him. But I've got some stuff in the works with Sweetwater. We're doing like a Anthony Lux Sunday Spectacular concert series from Memorial Day all the way to Labor Day, every Sunday. And the album release is going to be up in the Three Lakes Center for the Arts. We're trying to pin down a date right now for like somewhere in August or September. And I've just started working with a booking agent out of Chicago, or excuse me, I don't know why I said Chicago. Excuse me, out of Minneapolis, and she
The other Windy City.
Yeah, the other Windy City. She was able to get me some things. I'm playing in Illinois here in February, and so yeah, I'm surprised that there's so much that's shaping up. It seemed like there was a really rough patch, but a lot more gigs are shaping up. It should be a better summer this year even than last year.
Sweet. So, what are you looking at tracks-wise, total, like for this new album? And do you have a title for it?
Yeah, so I think tentatively we're going to call it The Shape of It. We've got a song called The Shape of It that is definitely going to be on the album.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got 7 or 8 tracks that we know for sure we want on it. We have time to write more if we'd like, but a lot of my songs are like 3 and 4 and 5 minutes, so I get 7 on there. That's already getting close to 40 minutes a lot of times. I want it to be short enough, basically, that it can be put on vinyl, and that means it's got to be like under 44 minutes or something like that. So this last one was 45 minutes and a half. So I want it slightly shorter, but I'm not gonna like condense it so much. Because like if I put Elephant on vinyl, I'd have to make some cuts in order to make that happen, and I just don't even.
Are you putting it on vinyl?
I want to. I maybe have this plan to do that later on in the future with some remastering and some additional musical components added. So that's what we're going to do with Elephant in the future if we go back to it. But with this one, we want to make sure that we could release it on vinyl if we wanted to without having to edit it.
Oh, way cool. Right on. So are you currently planning then to do the vinyl release in addition to just like digital formats? Because when people look for Elephant in the Room, they're going to find that on iTunes and they're going to find it Amazon and Spotify, and you've got links on your social media.
Oh,
and you have an actual website as well, right? The piano.
The album launch has a website on here now.
Okay.
And it has all wherever you can stream it or purchase it. Yeah.
So you'll have the same type of distribution for this
Absolutely.
next project.
Yeah, if you have me in your iTunes already, when this album comes out, it'll be in there. You'll be able to say, yes, I'd like to purchase that as well. And yeah, if you've got me on Spotify, maybe you're listening to me on Spotify, you will automatically be suggested these new songs because they'll be electronically distributed the same. I will have CDs available too. But I really would like to do some vinyl this time. That would be so neat.
Yeah, vinyl's pretty sweet. Making a comeback, never disappeared. But
that's true. Yeah, no, it's a lot more popular. It's a medium that people have a lot more respect for now, and they really want to engage with it a lot.
Do you have a vinyl collection of your own?
I used to. I used to.
You used to, and you don't anymore.
I left it in Texas.
It's in Texas.
It's probably not existent anymore.
It got turned into fancy bowls for holding things, and
that's probably what happened. Actually, that's probably what happened. It's probably in some retro shop in San Marcos right now as a set of dinnerware.
Yeah. Put it on a glass dish.
No, my Elton John greatest hits. Someone's eating cornflakes out of it.
No, well. Hopefully not. On some of them, they got them toxic chemicals in them.
Oh wow! Well, serves them right.
Or at least that's what you. That's why you don't want to overheat it, right? Because when you put it in the oven to melt it, there's a certain temperature that releases some of them And maybe it's certain. I don't know. Maybe it's.
Well, it's
I
like-
didn't do any research. Whatever.
Is that like how like there's like formaldehyde and Bakelite? Like old school plastic has like
Oh,
chemicals.
sure. Yeah, could be something similar to that. Yeah. Yeah, or any time you burn plastic in a small enclosed environment, you're in for a time. Oh yeah. Well, you got another song that? Did you want to do the title track?
Yeah, I think that'd be I think that'd be fun. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that well, like I said, it'll show a little bit more versatility in the instruments that we're using to lay the foundation with, and this one features a Wurlitzer, which is like one of my favorite electric sounds, the sound of a Wurlitzer.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and about this keyboard here, it's got like a dial. I can get more or less of that tremolo effect, that vibrato. So I get that vibrato just where I like it.
Want you to want me, babe, the way I want you. It's not enough to say you do. Not afraid to admit it. What you get is what you put in it. And I got quite a bit to give. Oh, 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 oh. I wanna make you my sugar. I lay it on the line for you. Nobody has to know about what we do. Oh, make this love about me and you. When everyone has gone, I will still remain to stand by you. Oh, come what may. Not afraid to admit it. What you get is what you put in it. And I got quite a bit to give. Oh, 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 oh. I wanna make you mine, sugar. Lay it on the line for ya.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was the wrong song.
That was not The Shape of Me.
Nope, that was Make You Mine. I'm not sure why I did that.
That was a different song.
That was a different song. Yeah. Did you want to hear the shape of it? I can play that one. 100% got too carried away with my Roland, with my little Wurlitzer test.
Okay, so
That was, excuse me.
well, that was great anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's one of the new ones.
And what's so? All right.
Well, that one, if you're interested to know, that one is about unrequited love. So that one is about, it's a theme. It's a theme in the LGBT community. Sometimes you might fancy someone who doesn't fancy you, and that's what that song is about.
Right on.
Yeah. The shape of it is a nice poppy love song. Wow, that ginger ale is nice. Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I had anything out of a glass bottle. I quit drinking over a year ago. So it's nice to be able to have something in a glass bottle. That's, soda.
Sure. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a lot of people with the way the year has gone. Everybody's maybe focusing more inward on how to maybe be healthier or.
Yeah, that's kind of like what my goal was, because you would think, oh man, this is a difficult year to quit drinking.
Yeah. Some people are picking up extra cases,
Yeah.
bi-weekly or whatever.
I think that my way to feel more in control of how things are, because out there things are a little bit messy at times, but my way to gain control or to feel as I'm in control has been to do that self-improvement sort of thing. And honestly, I wasn't drunk when I recorded the album, and I was way happier with how I sounded. So that was the catalyst.
Sure.
Made it me not want to drink again, because I feel like it kind of gets in the way of me getting what I want out of the piano.
Right on. Well, that's an amazing thing to be able to identify, and wish you continued, success on your path forward with that.
Thank you.
But yeah, play me that song.
Yeah, the one I promised.
Play me that song you told me you were gonna play.
Well, luckily now the Wurlitzer is set.
Okay. Well, anyway,
No, all right.
I was gonna make you rehash what the song was about.
Oh well, this song, the shape of it. This song is about it's about love, but it's it's kind of got a sassy concept. In the way the other one, Make You Mine, before was kind of a little bit about unrequited love. This one is about maybe there's something that you want that you maybe are not getting potentially, and this is a cheerful way to sort of nudge it along. Take my hand, come along, and let me under your skin. Oh, I wanna begin with my heart and my soul. I'm ready to thrust in. You want me to change it, baby? I can rearrange it for you. You know I will. I swing with you, babe, that's the shape of it. Don't take me for granted. Oh, you got me
me in that secret space. Give my love a shake. Oh, baby, you're holding out. Oh, just to keep your shape. Leave venom, my love. Oh, my love in the shade. Oh, 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 oh. You know I love you so strong. Just take my hand, come along, and let me under your skin. Oh, I wanna begin. With my heart and my soul, I'm a thrust in. Want me to change it? Well, I can rearrange it for you anytime. I'll swing with you, babe, that's the shape of it. Don't you take me for granted. Oh, you got me so stranded. Up on the rock of my dissatisfaction. Ooh, yeah. That's the shape of it. Oh, wait, babe. Get the shape of it. Whoa, yeah. That's the shape of it. Oh, wait, babe. That's the shape of it.
That's super groovy.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's the shape of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so satisfying when the concept is like, right, come together, and I don't know why I played the other one. That's weird.
Well, I love the tone anyway. You know, it's a good sound.
Yeah, that Wurlitzer's killer, right?
Yeah. Who would have think that you could get that out of a keyboard without having to haul around them big articles?
You used to not be able to. Yeah. This is a brand new keyboard. It just came out last year. It's newer than my album. My album began production before this keyboard began production.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was, like, as far as I know, one of the first people to get one, because I ordered it on the Internet Supplier, and it was supposed to come out in like March, and then it was delayed till April, and then I finally got one in May. So this is like not even a year of working with this instrument. So yeah, it used to be that it took so much more to get this right, you know, to get a good sound. So much more weight and metal cases.
And semi-trucks and...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because, like, you know, the way Ray Charles would have done it is he would have had a real Wurlitzer and a grand piano and an orchestra, you know, so that's like a whole different thing, like
Well,
today.
is that the dream?
Still,
in a way? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would be cool one day for me to, you know, get to do, like, with a big, or in an orchestral setting, because that's like, I don't know, the pinnacle for a piano player in a way. You know, when I was a kid, I was really fascinated with all those classical concert pianists and all that stuff. And the idea that the orchestra is accompanying you, the soloist, but there's 70 of them, and one of you, that's like, it feels not like really gratifying that you're that important, but it feels really gratifying that you could get good enough that you would be able to be reliable in that setting. You know, like that's the goal, I guess. And yeah, part of that is being able to play with any ensemble. And yeah, you're right. It takes an incredibly large amount of talent and preparation to play pop music or rock music with an orchestra, you know, and make it sound real groovy like Ray Charles does every time, without fail.
Yeah, but that'd be sweet though. Huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 It'd be sweet if I could bring a 9-foot $200,000 grand piano on stage every night like Elton John does. It'd be great. I'd be so happy. Won't you please donate to my if you're out there.
That's where all the donations are going tonight.
That's right. That's right.
The Grand Piano Fund.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming up on. We still got it. We still got plenty of time for a couple more songs.
Absolutely.
So, would you describe this next album as a concept album?
Yeah, I think I would. The last one kind of had like a semi-concept to it, but I guess I don't know. This is still kind of like I wouldn't say it's a concept album like The Wall is a concept album or something like that. But yeah, there's a definite thrust to the commentary I'm trying to make musically with this album, and it's about the palette.
There's a thrust.
Yeah, with my heart and my soul, I'll thrust in.
Okay.
That's what I said with the song.
All right. Because people, you ask people what their songs are about or whatever, and of course, it's kind of up to the listener to take whatever they're going to take from a song, right?
Oh yeah, you don't want to actually curtail that by specifically saying, oh, this is about this person whose name is this, who's from Milwaukee and blah blah blah. Yeah, I know. There's a balance there that you want to get. Yeah.
Oh, but these are awesome. What is the next? What's the next title for the next song?
Well, so for this next one, this one is going to be. I think "Dangerous" is the one that I was going to do.
Dangerous. Okay, and then just you. What does the instrumentation look like, on your recording chart, for the studio session that you're going to be on?
That'll actually help me answer your other question about the concept. So there's going to be a lot more brass in this album.
Okay.
I've got some brass on the keyboard and stuff like that, which might be used. But also, what we're going to do is we're going to try to have a consistent palette where, like, there will always be some brass or there will always be some strings, so that we can preserve more of that like soul and blues context. But the patterns and the rhythms that Jed's laying down on his electronic drum kit, they're going to be a lot more modern. There's a lot more hip hop feel in this. So I guess the concept is to bend the soul into hip hop as much as I am capable of doing it without breaking the soul or without making the hip hop sound like it's half-hearted.
So, is there going to be word jazz?
I did some scat singing on the other one, didn't I? I did. I might have I might have got that into at some point. Yeah, I don't know. We're talking about like doing like a spoken moment on the album. Yeah, I don't know. I'm being from Wisconsin.
Like a little John Hendricks thing or something.
Well, yeah. I think what I want to do is I want to bring as many components as I can to try to really like expand what soul means to me, and I think part of that is like risking something that maybe we might overcook or undercook.
When I mentioned earlier about which time or which part of the career is this for like Ray Charles, you mentioned Elton John.
Yeah, I sneak him in a lot. I do. I mention him a lot. I don't know if you heard what I played earlier, but
you're kind of a guy that's notorious for wearing your influences on your sleeve in a way, right?
A bit, yeah.
It's like it's a great homage to your influences, right? And so, just draw me back there. And what is so the big horn section? Is there a? Did you already relate that? Sorry.
No,
was there a time like period in Elton John's career that you would sort of like which period is this for you?
So for me, this would be the beginning of Elton John's glam period. The last record was more like the Elton John Tumbleweed Connection, singer songwriter, And I would say with this new album, we're getting on to like She packed my bag last night, pre-flight. You know, we're kind of moving into a more of a composite sound at all times. Less of a jammy sound, more of a centered sound, more of a developed, more production. So yeah, I guess, yeah. That's okay. If I had to relate it to Elton John, I would say this is the beginning of his glam period for me.
Okay. All right. With yeah, well, I can't wait to hear what you guys put together, you know.
Oh, it sounds way cooler with Charlie playing bass, and with with Jed, just like he makes an incredible noise with those drums. He really does. I mean, I almost can't play with any other drummer because there's too much that's different. I'm just constantly adjusting to that, the expectation. And,
How monumental was that for you guys to hook up, and what has that done to like your live performances and playing and everything? Because you've worked with, I mean, musicians work with other musicians like all the time, and sometimes you get situations where you get to work with one person a lot consistently, and those are cool relationships to build and grow from. But how has that impacted you, and your performance, and obviously you're excited about it. You guys are getting some really great stuff out of the studio, so that's got to like carry over to your live performance and everything, right?
I think the live performance actually carried over to the studio is I think what happened, because like I think the reason why there's this new material to come out that's ready is because like how me playing with Jed releasing the album and playing those songs out live and doing shows all the summertime and all the way in through the winter, that really sort of changed a little bit about how I want to feel things out and how I want to play things. Like, yeah, it feels like the whole component parts are not assembled in the way it felt like before. I was more like, this is what it is, and you guys can add on to that. This feels more like it's I know what Jed's doing so well that I know where to leave room for him to elaborate, and he always does. And it's playing with another drummer, sometimes you leave room for them to elaborate, and they're not sure if that's what you want there, so they may hold back, or maybe they elaborate the whole time. And that can be a different thing entirely. It gives a jammier sound, but I've never felt so slick and consistent than I do when I play with Jed.
Would you also say that you're probably feel as though you're kind of like the best you've ever been?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, I've got him there to help keep track of the rhythm. That allows me to take that for granted a little bit, and maybe spend a little bit more energy mentally playing or singing or performing to the audience, whatever it may be, and that makes a way better show, a slicker show. And yeah, absolutely. Basically, having his ability to be a metronome or his ability to fill the space, it just is indispensable.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, and and aside from maybe a normal solo gig or something like that, when you're playing around those, with those rhythms and those, where's the one and where's the,
Oh, sure.
Sometimes that can, I listen back to some of the recordings that I make from live shows, and if I start halfway through or sometimes at the beginning or whatever, even if I'm doing a loop or something, and I think that the one is like, consistent, or, feels like the one,
sure.
I'll have to listen back, and it'll take like a minute and a half before that one, sets in or whatever. But anyway, yeah, obviously when you got that added element to the live show, you can almost play around the beat more so.
Absolutely.
Because the anchor's there for everyone.
I've also found that, like, in a lot of ways, it kind of like just as much as you can play around with the beat more, it kind of like puts you in a position where you can hit the same marks too. And that can sometimes be a valuable experience when you can like hit the same target that you hit last time and hit it again and reliably hit it. That just builds up so much backbone that you just you feel more ready to begin in the first place.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of songwriters would agree that having consistent musicians to work with can be an invaluable asset to the songwriting process and for certain the recording process. So it's awesome to hear that you got all these parts and they're working together and they're doing their thing, and it's
unbelievably,
it's going good.
Yeah, no, I can't believe it sometimes, because like it does feel like feels like that wouldn't have just happened with any drummer. It feels like that wouldn't have happened at any studio with any producer. It was like some magic that was created with Mark and with Jed and Charlie, of course, because Charlie added so much context to what we were doing when he came in with the bass. So much context.
And do you let those guys? It's kind of like a chili or something, or a gumbo. Everything's blending together. Their performances, the arrangements here, or are you charting out, you telling these guys what to do? How much of this is obviously because are you composing this whole thing? You've obviously got a brain full of ideas and different aspects and elements of the song, but that collaboration process can be a whole nother element. But
yeah,
is it different for every musician?
It's different for every musician that I work with in that setting. Charlie has this ability to just come in and just shoot any target. Doesn't matter, in the air, on the ground, moving, whatever. He's great. I mean, he's a machine.
Charlie Strong is
So for him,
pretty phenomenal.
For him, he doesn't even really want or need to get a chart. He gets in there and he does it with his ear, and he positions with what the drummer's doing, and so as long as Jed and I have done a good foundation track where the drums and the piano are well related to each other and it's all good and solid, Charlie has the skill and the taste to do what's incidental and what's correct. If I'm working with a horn player, sometimes horn players they like the chords. That way they can base their solo on those chord changes, and so that's something that I absolutely provide for the horn players and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's different for every musician. Whatever will make them perform and play confidently, and whatever will give them the ability to do what they're doing in relation to the song. That's really like the approach that I try to take if I can. I just try to make them as comfortable as possible, because that's what I want. I just want to be comfortable, and then I feel like I just do it easier and better.
Sure, and you guys are tracking a lot of these live.
Mostly the piano and the drums get done live with scratch vocals.
And then you're going to fly in the bass and fly in another vocal if you end up needing to.
Yeah.
A lot of times that scratch vocal can just be, the one.
That's what I found. There was.
How cool is that, right?
there was one moment where we kept going back and forth between the new vocal I recorded and the scratch vocal that was initial. And there was just something that the scratch vocal had just some heat to it. There was some kind of something in there that just, I don't know, it just felt...
Reckless abandon.
It felt more alive. And so there was a couple phrases that were definitely the scratch vocals. I think there's even a couple songs where it's mostly the scratch vocal. And there's other ones where the song was much improved by separately retracking the vocals. So,
Well, hey, did you play that song Dangerous yet?
I have not. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
So this one's also from the album, and I thought maybe if we had a chance to do this one and maybe one more or something, the last one will be a slower number. So because I know I'm playing a lot of rockers right at you.
Well, when we talk about concept albums and everything, I mean, some of that can be like instrumental and feel, and a whole album could be up and grooving and whatnot, but. Yeah, it's nice to throw in a ballad or something down tempo a little bit.
Yeah, I always try to make the ballads contentful, but yeah, I find that that as cool as it is to do just rocker after rocker, and it really feels gratifying as a player to do that to a listener, and just for pacing, it like you throw a down tempo number in there. Sometimes people will listen more instinctively. They'll notice the drop in volume, and then their conversation will get quieter if we're in a bar setting or in the theater. Though it's even it's a more magnifying effect. If you do a fast number and then a slow number, from their perspective, it's like the world fades out around you, and you're just left there in the spotlight, and you're conveying the intensity that one can bring to a ballad. That is like really, 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 really neat to change it up and do it like that,
Yeah. Now, when you, I imagine it's maybe different with every song. Maybe some of these songs are written with, a person in mind. relationship that you're in, that you have, and that person is in, muse and inspiring in a way, or those emotions, whatever, the impetus for writing that, and for creating that, it just happens. How many times, it probably just goes back and forth, right?
Well, I find
but
for me, it's usually a person or an experience or a phrase or a feeling, a state of being that is an impetus for a song for me. So usually, if there's not someone who I can name specifically, there's definitely like a feeling or an experience that I can name that was like my key, the thing I'm hanging on to when I am making the song, what I'm expressing about that idea, that thesis or whatever. It usually is a person. I definitely write about my experiences a lot, as much as I can. So that's how I would answer that question.
Sure. Yeah, and and of course, love is love. So I know that you talk about certain things within the community. But yeah, I mean, at the end of it, it's love and it's desire, for another human being, and that relationship that you build.
Yeah, I think that it's up.
It can be it can be an idea about somebody, or that universal thought, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The more connections I can make, the easier the songwriting process is. Like that when I played Breakage, it starts off with a pirate's life for me. That's my destiny. The siren call is blinding.
Yeah, you're just gonna buy some Caribbean island and have your own Fiji water and bake in the sun,
Yeah, and I think sometimes a song is about a state of mind, like that Breakage tune is about kind of it's fun and it's good to take the good with the bad, and if you're maybe over enthusiastic and you get a black eye from that, that isn't a wasted experience. That is breakage, and that can actually make you better. So it's. I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of times that all kinds of people experience that situation in their life, and certainly I could be really specific about my life. But for a song like that, it's almost not necessary. It's almost like other people can relate to it, even without the context, and I think that makes it more valid for me personally.
Right on. So what? So the title "Dangerous," where does that come from?
So, "Dangerous" is the concept I had for that song is that I wanted to I always wanted to do a James Bond villain song, and I always wanted to when you Thunderball, with Tom Jones, he's always and he strikes like thunderball, and he's got this whole story about this villain who's got this nuclear bomb, and but it's all very over the top. And so I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if instead of writing a James Bond opening song or whatever, what if I wrote a James Bond villain song? So this is my attempt to do a James Bond villain song.
So who's the villain? Is it an abstract villain?
It is not. Well, perhaps to some it won't seem very abstract.
I guess
at all.
maybe we'll find out, right?
Yeah.
Anthony Lux, right here, live from the living room, a special session of the Midwest Music Hour, part of the Produced at Home series that WXBR has been putting out since the pandemic began, to keep the community safe. So we're doing stuff at home here, and that's what the living room sessions are born out of that opportunity and necessity, and so I'm stoked to be able to share that with the audience in a couple weeks. We'll get everything wrapped up here and put together, and that should be awesome. But we'll hear this brand new track from Mr. Anthony Lux. It's called "Dangerous," and it's off his forthcoming release.
And I did want to say all the new ones we played, Jed had a hand in helping to write as well, in terms of the pacing and all that stuff, and even with some ideas, giving me the kernel of an idea, a concept to spread out into a song. A lot of it was collaborated. So,
right on.
Here we go.
watch out for a black sedan driven by a wolf in sequence. 'Cause you don't know what you're in for. Just one taste and honey, you want more. Dangerous gaming place while the smile always stays. Don't you make no mistake, you can't afford to look away. He'll make you pay. He's dangerous, dangerous, so dangerous, dangerous. He's dangerous, dangerous, so dangerous, dangerous. Heard him lie, but how could you have known when you won't believe what you ain't been shown? So don't blame me if you took the bait when you drank the wine. Now, baby, it's too late. Dangerous gaming place while the smile always stays. Don't you make no mistake, you can't afford to look away. He'll raise the stakes, yes he will. Baby, he's dangerous, dangerous, so dangerous, dangerous. He's dangerous, dangerous, so dangerous, 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 dangerous.
There's the James Bond.
Yeah. I can definitely hear that.
Thank you.
Hear that in there.
Thank you. I think when we play it with Jed, Jed does a little explosion on his pad. Yeah. It's yeah.
Nice. Well, you've just begun recording the record. You're looking to put it out the end of springtime. Looking to have it ready to roll out by the summer. Maybe we'll get a vinyl edition. Obviously, if there was a print-on-demand option somewhere with a vinyl producer, you could. Then people who wanted to order the vinyl could just order the vinyl, and
That option does exist.
oh,
I believe it does.
oh.
I will have to look into that, Scott. That's a very good suggestion.
Oh, I think there are a lot of companies that have had to change the way they, if it's a manufacturer like that, making whatever.
I think I'm using CD Baby, so I bet they even have an option where such and such could be ordered.
Sure, yeah, or they might have a partner company that they would be able to tell you about. Yeah. What is the? You got one more song there off that album that you want to share with us?
Well, actually, this one is off of the first album, if that's all right.
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
okay.
Sure.
I wrote this one. This one is called "Strong Enough," and this one I wrote. When I say sometimes that there's like an actual reason behind the song, this is the reason for this song was for me to sort of express how I'm feeling about the situation, and I think that the situation I was really latching on when I wrote this song was that there were, a number of like mass shootings and things like that happened in this country, and like that seems like obviously it's a huge issue, and it's like more than what I can conceptualize to cover everything that could be said about it. But I just wanted to chime in with I don't think that violence is a viable option for someone like me to solve a problem, And so the song is about, you can solve it problems with love. Love is strong enough. It's stronger than the bullets even in the context and in what it can do. Yeah, you're not going to stop a bullet with love. But if someone feels love and if they are loved and they're part of a community, maybe they won't express themselves in that manner, Not the answer for everybody, but I just think that like it's about choosing love when you can. And my point is that it's always an option to choose love. It's never not an option. You always can.
Right on. It's a good reoccurring philosophy. The last couple of artists been in here, filled with positive energy and vibes and a wonderful outlook. In terms of that reoccurring theme of, hey, a little bit more love and understanding, right? Never a bad thing, huh?
Yeah, I mean, the older that I get, the more that I play my music, and especially the original stuff, the more that I want people to come away with a positive feeling from the gigs. The more that I want people to feel uplifted. And it's like, I don't know, it's like if I have a duty or responsibility beyond, being a good musician and trying to do things as best I can, the responsibility is to spread that goodwill. Like that's like the power in what we do as entertainers or whatever. We can like put the world on hold for the audience,
Well, and sometimes that's difficult to do with things that are happening in day-to-day life. There are a lot of things to overcome. There's a constant commitment to that. There's a constant commitment to that because there is so much that can get. Don't let the world get you down. Keep on the sunny side of life. Well, that whole thing.
And and for me, I've always found a lot of solace in music. I've always found a lot of identity and empowerment in music and expressing myself as a songwriter. So I don't feel like it's beyond anyone to say, hey, can't we just get along? Can't we just try to come together here? Well, this one's called Strong Enough.
Strong Enough. Yeah, and I was going to say too, when you're feeling good, it's a lot easier to share that. And when the music's cooking and when things feel right on stage, they kind of tends to translate a little bit to that audience.
You want to have a rapport of love with, you want to have that like that good energy transfer. Yeah. It's your duty as a musician. That's what you're supposed to provide too. It's good vibes as well. Good tunes and good vibes.
Absolutely. Strong Enough is the name of the song. And it's the worldwide premiere right here on the Midwest Music Hour.
Try to be coy. You knew a word of joy would never come. From the barrel of a gun. I know that love is strong. Strong enough. Oh, strong enough. Strong enough to stop bullets. We've got to stand together now in every kind of weather, however we feel. To do what's right, resist the urge to fight, don't bring each other down.
try to be coy. You knew a word of joy would never come. Oh, from that barrel of that smoking gun. I know love is strong, but I wonder if it's strong enough. Oh, strong enough. Strong enough to stop bullets. Strong enough.
Very cool. Strong enough, yeah.
Thank you.
And Elephant in the Room is available on all those streaming platforms, and you can link that to Anthony's. You can find the link on Anthony's Facebook page, The Piano Duke, facebook.com/The Piano Duke. Piano Duke, no the, just Piano Duke. Facebook.com/Piano Duke.
Yep.
Right. Well, I can't tell you what a treat it's been.
Thank you. For me as well.
And hopefully you didn't screw it up too bad. And hopefully you had a good time.
I had a great time. Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, for sure. I would love to come back once we have the album released or whatever, and I'd love to do something. Maybe even have Jed in and play with us. That would be really cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. And who knows what the future will bring? But obviously, it'd be. Who knows when we'll be able to get back to the radio station and utilize those facilities? But until then, yeah. Summer will be pretty cool, and we'll get around a little bit more, get outside, enjoy that. But hey, don't let the winter keep you indoors, right? We've been having somewhat of a mild. You just commented when you got here, dude, the Northwoods is a whole lot colder than Stevens Point.
Yeah, it could just be because the sun went down while I was driving.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I got in the car in Stevens Point, I felt like my jacket was a little bit, superfluous. And then I got out of the car here, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, I'm glad I brought my jacket. Wow, it's cold. I, rushed to get inside. I was like, oh, man, I know his house will be warm.
Right on. Well, did you Did you want to squeeze in one more song, or?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can do
awesome,
that.
fantastic. So let's. Do you want to do? Do you want to do a new one? Do you want to do a covered one? Do you want to do an old one?
Well, oh man,
What are you feeling?
I'll tell you what. We can do one from Elephant in the Room, or we can do a cover. Why don't you choose? You choose, and then I'll narrow it down.
Well, I know that these, the streaming licenses and everything that go on are, like different from like what the radio is going to be like. People talk about the Facebook stuff or the Twitch stuff, or is this a strike or is it a claim and all that sort of thing. But I guess I wouldn't shy away from doing a cover, but. My choice, yeah. Why don't you throw down whatever you're feeling that somebody else, one of your influences wrote.
All right, perfect. We'll go with Elton John.
Oh, goody!
Surprise. But I want to show you one of my cool piano voices again. His is that RD1000. Now, earlier on my song, you heard it in more of like a major setting. Really bongy and glittery. So now I'm going to put it in more of like a somber context and see how it feels very 80s immediately when you hear it.
Always said that one's enough to love. Now I hear you bragging one is not enough. But something tell me you're not satisfied. You got plans to make me want a 4 or 5. I guess the kind of thing you see your blood. You won't catch me calling up my love. I ain't a puzzle piece that needs to fit. If it takes more than me, let's call it quits. 'Cause I don't wanna go on with you like that. Wanna be a feather stucker in your cap. Just to have to tell you, honey, I'm not mad. I don't wanna go on with you like that. Oh, oh, oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ooh. It gets so high sometimes to understand. Ooh, this vicious circle's getting out of hand. Don't need an extra eye to see that a fire spreads a faster air breeze. I don't wanna go on with you like that. Don't wanna be a feather stucker in your cap. Just to have to tell you, honey, I'm not mad. I don't wanna go on with you like that. No, I don't wanna go on with you like that. Almost set a boost on your welcome mat. You just have to quit 'em if you want me back. I ain't going on with you like that. No, no. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, if you wanna spread it around, sister, that's just fine. 'Cause I don't need no secondhand feeding me lines. Wanna hold someone in the middle of the night. Come and God and turn on the lights. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I don't wanna go on with you like that. Don't wanna be a feather stucker in your cap. Just had to quit 'em if you want me back. 'Cause I don't wanna go on with you like that. No, no. Oh, no. Baby, no. Not no more. Woo. Let's go. I don't wanna.
Sweet. Kelsey Dryden is out there. She says, "Hey, long time no see, Anthony."
Hello, hello. How are you? Well, I'm glad there's folks out there watching the stream. That's nice.
Well, we'll get a couple anyways, you know.
Splendid, splendid.
Somebody on Twitch was saying that, you know, if we want to become famous, we just have to buy followers and more likes, and then we'll get a million people, and then we'll make lots of money, and we won't have to leave our houses ever. And
I've heard that's how it works. I've heard that's how it works. Yeah. See, I was hoping that a record company would just be banging on my door, you know. But I think
well, you have to have a door first, Anthony.
well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You know, I thought they would come and seek me out, but it doesn't work like it did in the Ray Charles movie. They don't just come looking for you, you know, because there's so many everybody out there. And yeah, I think you're right. The person on Twitch might have a little bit of a line on the way things work. Sometimes exposure is like the thing that is the most important thing to get, you know.
Oh yeah, and then of course, you know, that's how you know, people die from exposure.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, what in this industry, a lot of times people will be like, you know, oh well, you know, I'm sure everyone's seen the meme on Facebook. You know, would you like to, you know, come out to my venue and play for such and such so many hours using your thousands of dollars worth of equipment and years worth of training? You know, would you do that for free? Would you provide that as a service? And in exchange, you know, people might see you. That's a little different than like you know, paying for some playlisting so that, you know, you can get into some cool playlists and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's, oh, why are they soliciting you, right? Do they perform a service or do they not perform a service? And
yeah,
I guess I don't know.
Well, I've never heard of a bar that would bring drinks and food out to my house for exposure for their bar. So maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way, but if someone says, "Yeah, play my place for free," I'm not like turning my nose up at it, but like it makes me feel like maybe that's not a place that would necessarily appreciate what I'm doing anyway if they value it so lowly. You know, if they get people who are, you know, just there for $50 or something like that, someone who doesn't have a skin in the game, so to speak, someone who doesn't like need that money to survive, I think that that can like really change your perspective on well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do music full time. That's I make my living doing all things music. If I, you know, so for me, you know, I couldn't possibly play the places I played at without putting in all the work, and it does feel like a lot of people that hire musicians don't always appreciate the equipment cost and and all the hours of practice and the doing music to the detriment or to the exclusion of other things, that's what's necessary, I think, to be able to do it and like have authenticity, do original music and be able to do it 3 or 4 times a week, and have it not go stale. That's not something that anyone should give away, That is the service that they're providing. All those things,
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Same thing with artists.
Absolutely the same thing with artists. Yeah, it boggles my mind when you see people go, "Oh, I'll give you $10 for that." What? And there's $10 of paint on there, man. And there's like, I don't know how much blood, sweat, and tears and soul in there too. Oh man, it's not even about the money, but $10 is just insulting.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is difficult too because what would you? There are certainly what one might call union rates standards. If you join the Teamsters,
Sure.
or whatever,
Sure.
And that's a certain way to ensure a standard across the venues that you're playing and the musicians that are sharing those venues and whatnot. People always talk about that. Otherwise, it's still like free market. So, obviously you want to give of yourself and you have, certain causes or certain benefits out there for other people. And that's different from, a business per se, and what you're saying is you've experienced that where maybe, the quote unquote, like weekend warriors, right? They don't, it's, like if you're sitting there and you don't have a gig and somebody else has a gig and maybe they got it because they're not charging like what you need to charge to make a living.
Oh, definitely.
Or whatever it may be. Sometimes that can be a difficult thing to just have happen, right?
Well,
a difficult thing to deal with.
It can be discouraging, right?
Discouraging, absolutely, yeah. Pouring out your heart and soul night after night, and
What
some
does
guy
it
goes
all
in there and sings Margaritaville. And
What does it all mean?
What does
Why
it mean?
do I do this?
Oh man, we can.
I'll be here all week, folks. Try the veal. Try the veal. As long as my sanity holds out, it'll be beautiful art for decades. You know what? I think that's all part of the experience, though, isn't it? Like, Ludwig van Beethoven, had to deal with like losing his hearing and all this, that, and the other thing, and you can hear how genuine and how big his heart is in his music. But people thought he was like a little bit, difficult to deal with and obstinate, maybe even. And it's nothing like that I have to deal with. But it does feel like adversity when it's like, oh, I'd love to be there doing that gig. I suspect this is about the money. And that kind of like makes me feel like no matter how good my art is, it can't overcome that.
Yeah, and it's not, like I said, the only difficult thing in that, coming to terms with it is like the fact that, it's the livelihood. And because in a lot of ways, like that's what, the community is built from. People that, maybe they don't have to make a living at it, but they love it,
Sure.
kind of that, the true amateur in the sense, not that their skills might be remedial or whatever, because, a lot of people are really talented. That's the other.
Just because you're a weekend warrior doesn't mean you don't do a good show. Yeah, absolutely. There's
Right.
plenty of weekend warriors that do great shows.
And I think that there's a lot of justification too when I think about, people that are walking their path and doing what they're lucky enough to do something they're passionate about and make a living at it, whereas, some people say, hey, the second you rely on that thing that you're passionate about, the second you rely on that for making a living, starts to like eat away at you in other ways, I guess, and that might be one of the things there,
Oh, yeah.
relatable to that experience.
Oh yeah, it's not everybody that has like just like the time in their life to be all about music or whatever, and like I don't know, it's not my intention to like make it sound like someone who isn't all about music isn't like authentically putting art out there and doing it and also adding to the scene. And yeah, there's got to be people playing more and more in all kinds of places, even if it's, even if it's folks that like, maybe they're not doing their own original music. Maybe they're just doing a covers thing or whatever. Having live music out there is definitely better than not having live music out there. Times are tight now, which is why I complain, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to take away anyone's authenticity out there doing what they're doing. For me, my goal has always been that I think that my music or my art or whatever it is that I want to call that, I think it'll be the most valid and the most hard hitting if it's my primary focus, But that's just how I do it. That's just my thing. Plenty of folks need to take a break and come back to it, and then they come back with renewed vigor, and that's a whole different process than my process. I just get frustrated until I get it right. Because it's like, for me, that's the end. There's nothing past. The buck stops here. It stops with me. If I don't learn this, if I can't improve my sight reading, or if I can't do this little trill that Elton John does, or whatever it may be, whatever the goal is, if I'm not willing to like do only that until I get it right, barring the restroom and sleep, it just feels like that's how I find my authenticity. Like I just swing really hard every time, very earnestly. But that's not everyone else's method, so do I wish that people would notice that earnestness and they would focus on that and they would want me because of that? Yes, I absolutely do. Is it more likely that people want me because I have a performance level and a certain set list? Yeah, absolutely. So it's like the person hiring us isn't always with the same goal as we as a musician will have. But like that is like the crux of it. That's what makes it hard. Rising up to meet that, and I wish I had more opportunities to do that right now in public, live, because I love to be in front of people. I always feel like it adds some spice to my performance.
Yeah. Well, Kelsey, what we're doing here is it's the Midwest Music Hour, and this is a program that so I volunteer over at WXPR, and so this would be a program that I would host every other week on air, maybe during an afternoon cafe program. Ever since, the pandemic, the station has been closed to volunteers such as myself. They're trying to keep everybody safe and whatnot, and so, I worked through last year trying to get this, live streaming stuff all squared away, and it's really kind of turned out to be incredible in the way that it's allowing me to produce this program at home as a live stream with artists like Anthony. And yeah, he's the fourth one this month that I've done, so there are 3 that you missed, but you can find them on the Facebook page, and you can also find them on the YouTube channel. There's a Midwest Music Hour YouTube channel. There's also probably archived videos right now on the Birch Barn YouTube channel and here on the Facebook pages. Might even go to the Scott Kirby Music on YouTube, but yeah. So you can find the other 3 artists that were featured this month. I've got next month booked up, Kelsey, as well. So starting right away on the 4th is Tuck Pence at 7 p.m., which is going to be really cool.
Yeah, man, that's the show. That's the show, man.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad that we got reconnected here. I know, the Bob and Scott Wednesday night program from last year was a pretty cool thing, and we trailed off and we got busy and other stuff and all that sort of stuff. But all that stuff and the other stuff and all the stuff and put it in a chicken, turkey, stuffing, gravy.
A turducken.
Thanksgiving.
A turducken with the bacon on the outside.
Yeah, and then so February. So if you're got the calendar up there, it's at scottkirbymusic.com/the/Midwest/Music Hour, or you can just go to scottkirbymusic.com. Look at the top. There's a little tab. It's like right about here in the screen, and it said Midwest Music Hour. So that's the calendar of next month, and there will be links, I think, to the YouTube channel on there, as well as to WXPR's website, because they are taking these. I'm going to have a lot more editing to do tonight, but that's okay, because I've been maybe a little short here and there. But we'll take that. We'll put it on air on a Tuesday night. And so I mean, I think right now, I think it could be in a couple weeks, I guess. I think we're a couple weeks out. You know, I had a program that I produced last year that got some airplay, and anyway, if you were on the wxpr.org, you would maybe get their program schedule there. Otherwise, I try to update the Midwest Music Hour Facebook page when I get notification that one of these is going live, or which one is in the can for this coming week. That way I can, you know, let the artist know, and if you're out there and you want to hear what it sounds like for the radio broadcast, that's another cool thing to like revisit it in a couple weeks and see what made the cutting room floor, and oh man, what did I do about those audio things that
I'm definitely going to be. I'm definitely excited to see the finished product. I'm definitely excited to hear what comes out of the radio speakers in my car.
I'm a little terrified, but I think it'll be okay.
Well, hopefully we got more than we needed.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's good. I know I prattle on a lot.
No, it's cool because I don't know. I mean, you know, in this day and age, you know, you talk about having, you know, the difficulty of, you know, gigs and all that sort of stuff. You know, people that are doing it full time, other people that have jobs. You know, obviously that's been one big thing throughout the pandemic is just, you know, those livelihood and those places where you generally may go and gather with people. You know, you haven't been able to do, and so. You know, some people are and some people aren't. I can't fault anybody for doing it. You know, I'm trying to do the minimum to get by it myself, you know, in those regards. And, you know, but everybody's got their own, like, at-home situation as well, you know. Golly, talking. But I thought that, you know, even podcasting is kind of even a different realm than, like, what this is. And
oh, you could do a Scott Kirby podcast. Oh.
Well, it would. I'm not sure how it would be different from this. You know, if it were like the Midwest Music Hour.
Sure.
Aside from the fact that it's purely just the audio going out and whatnot, but I do know that people sometimes will do a format like this and they'll make a podcast out of that. I think the notion sounds kind of cool. I mean, there are a lot of artists out there that are doing that type of thing on a weekly basis. You know, releasing it as a podcast or something like that, and I guess it helps to have stuff to talk about, right?
Yeah, you know, a podcast. It would seem to me like a podcast is like more talky, but like I don't know. Do you have a favorite podcast? I listen to a couple podcasts, and usually I go for ones where it's like a comedian, and like a discussion kind of thing, because like I'm just always interested to hear what comedians have to say about things, because I don't know. They seem to exist to test the limit sometimes, and that's really cool. So you get them in a more intimate conversation with another celebrity or another stand-up comedian, and you get really authentic like reactions. Nothing contrived at all. It just seems to me like stand-up comedians are some of like the most like straight out there, direct. Like, this is my idea. Do you like it? What do you think of it? You know, let's discuss. So I find that podcasts where they got a comedian or two on there are just like really fruitful. Not even just because of the jokes, but because those people they know how to like put everything bite size and get the point across too. You know,
Storytellers.
They're great at it. Yes, it's like they do it. It's their job. I take 4 minutes to do what they do in 4 sentences.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, hey, it's been a real treat, and I'm so glad you were able to make it up. And so thanks for being on the Midwest Music Hour.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for coming to the living room and being on the session. And like I said, hopefully the audio and everything will be groovy when we get out here and double check to make sure we got everything. And
got enough rattle from the bracelet, I hope.
Got enough rattle from the bracelet, I think.
I knew there would be some.
Best of luck in the studio working on this new album. Let's stay in touch, because we'd love to get our hands on that when you put it out and hear what you got down.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to get interviewed and have like nice glossy recordings to just plug in.
Yeah, right. As opposed to have play them.
I did one with Mike Wolf. Jed and I were on WRJO with Mike Wolf.
Far out.
A couple weeks ago, or maybe it was like a month ago. And he played some of the songs in the album, and I was like, oh man, that's so nice to not be like stressed about, oh, am I going to play it right? Is it going to be? Let's make sure I'm in the zone. But he just like, oh no, I'm just gonna take the CD track. You don't have to bring your keyboard. Oh man. Oh.
Are you doing your own virtual performances like on a weekly basis or anything like that?
I'm trying to. What I've been doing more is like I've been trying to put out like more like casual covers, quick little things on my Instagram. But I definitely have a couple things in the pipe here that are going to be bigger streams. What I want to do is I want to do a couple little short ones where it's only one song or 2 songs just real quick. And then I want to do every couple weeks or something a big, like a full hour-and-a-half concert. So I've got a couple of venues that I'm working with that maybe the venue will be empty and we'll film a little concert and we'll break it up and we'll release that in chunks. Or maybe it'll be a situation where if the venue's big enough, we can get people socially distanced and then we'll record a live show. So I've been holding back on releasing a bunch of stuff weekly with my Facebook and things like that because I want to release these longer, bigger concert tapes if I can, if people are digging that.
All right. Well, cool. Well, hey, thanks again for being up here on the program, and we'll look forward to catching up with you a little bit further down your road. Thanks to all you out there for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the live stream. If you can, if you're able to, and you want to support Anthony financially, you can make a donation to his PayPal, which you can find right here, right there. There it is. There it is. It's tracking.
It's on the bottom of the screen. It's
come
down
back here.
there. It's
Come back
down
here.
there.
All right. Otherwise, just thank you to, everybody who's sponsored the program, made donations, and it's kept things afloat. It's this is like a double episode, dude.
I know. You called me this morning and you're like, "Oh, I've been running a little short. I hope we get enough." Yeah, we're gonna get enough. You're gonna get enough material. I promise.
Oh man,
you have to trim half this out.
Your phone calls are 5 hours long.
They are.
How are you gonna do a?
They are. They are. That's why. See, I know that sometimes you'll be like, "Oh, yeah, so let me take this call next week because I know it's gonna be." Well, wait till I'll clear an afternoon for Mr. Lux. I don't know how long he's going to take to tell me that he is enjoying
Elton
himself.
sleeping right now? Am I going to do that?
That's true. You've had less time for me since you've become a father.
Indeed. And but it's all good stuff.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all the support, man. I really do.
Right on. Well, keep putting out the good music and keep in touch. And hey, like I said, thanks again. Have a great night. Tune in next week for Tuck Pence, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right on most of these channels. And I guess the other stuff, you'll have to subscribe to the channels or go to the website to look at the calendar and put it on your calendar.
Do not miss Tuck Pence. That guy is legit. Very, very, very authentic.
Oh, I'm really excited because a lot of the live streams that I've been doing with Tuck have been like performance or whatever. So we'll get to do a little bit more,
bit more intimate, bit more in depth.
How do we do more jabbering back and forth? I don't know about that.
Well, it's the gift of gab. It's a thing. It's a thing that like some of the great entertainers that I really look up to. They have it. And Tuck's got it. You've got it.
Wind it up. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. No, it's been a treat. Thanks again for checking out the live stream. Like I said, more to come this year, and February's all set. The calendar's up. Take a look. We're gonna have a good time, and stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Wear the masks. Do the stuff. Be good to one another. Be good to yourselves, and we'll see you on the next program. Thanks so much. Boop, 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 boop.